Welcome to the first step in the Resilient for Life mobility system. If you only take away one tool from this entire starter kit, make sure that it's this one. We are constantly fighting a losing battle against the most universal rule of biology, and that is, if you don't use it, you lose it. You see, over time, our daily postures, our repetitive habits, they shrink our usable ranges of motion. So today, we're going to take time to master the tool that really helps us slow that process down, and that is controlled articular rotations, or CARs for short. CARs are an active range of motion exercise. Specifically, they are rotations performed with absolute control of your joints' available end ranges. Think of them as your daily systems check. Now, to do them correctly, we rely on four core principles, the first being isolation. We focus on the one target joint, keeping the rest of the body completely locked down. The second is rotation, and that's where we emphasize the rotational capacity of the joint's motion. Third is control. We own every degree of that range of motion. And lastly is end ranges. We approach the very outer limits of your movement to provide the necessary tension. Now, if you were to step back and watch someone do CARs, you'd see someone simply moving their joints through a circular motion. But it's done in a way that produces tension in and around the joint. You see, the way your tissues change depends entirely on how you apply tension. If you apply too much tension too fast, you risk injury, right? That's what happens when you roll your ankle or you twist your knee. But when you apply high tension in a controlled manner consistently over time, you signal your tissues to become more compliant and resilient. That is the mechanism of true mobility. So why do we rely so heavily on CARs? Well, it's simply because they appeal to three main physiological processes. The first is deep sensory nerve stimulation. Your joint capsule, the structure surrounding a joint and holding it together, is a sophisticated sensory organ. So when you hit your end ranges, you stimulate mechanoreceptors that feed data into your brain. And this gives your brain a high definition rendering or a map of your joint's capabilities. Now, if you don't move into those ranges, the brain loses that map. It doesn't have as much fidelity, and it will eventually restrict your movement in order to protect you because it can't clearly see the movement capabilities of those joints. Second is connective tissue loading. By reaching that end range, we stimulate the fibroblasts within your capsule. This mechanical input drives a biological output, signaling your cells to align their collagen fibers in a way that supports those movements, which ultimately increases your structural elasticity and strength. Third is synovial fluid distribution. Think of the insides of your joints like a sponge. Synovial fluid provides the nutrients that they need to stay healthy. Movement basically squishes that fluid around, ensuring that the nutrients are delivered to the cartilage and the tissues that really can't get that from blood flow on their own. You're literally lubricating your joints from the inside out. Now let's talk about CARs in practice, right? Building the habit, because joint tissues respond best to frequent stimuli. CARs should be a daily routine for that reason. You don't need an hour, you just need consistency. And here's how you can integrate them, at least a few ideas. The first is the morning systems check. It's an abbreviated routine. Hit your shoulders, hips, and your spinal cat-cows first thing in the morning. Another way is movement snacks throughout your workday. Take 2 to 5 minutes to address the joints that feel the most stiff. Another is a pre-flight or pre-workout check-in. You're about to walk, run, bike, or perform some kind of strength exercise. Go ahead and go through your CARs and your cat-cow to prime the nervous system for that loaded activity. So the key here is to stay ahead of the game. CARs are also your best diagnostic tool. Most people only focus on their joints when they're actually feeling junky. But that's reactive mode. CARs help us stay in a proactive mode by moving through your full ranges every single day. You stay ahead of the curve, keeping your joints resilient for the long haul.